Now this is one of the most affordable smart speakers out there. The Google Home Mini needs no introduction, costs 49 bucks, but on the Google Store you can often get it for less than its 49 bucks asking price. There are two things about the Google Home Mini that I want to talk about. The first thing is its bass performance. Obviously this is a very small speaker, it's got one speaker driver. How is its bass performance going to be like, and is it going to be enjoyable listening to music from such a small speaker? Number two, is it worth buying in 2019? We're going to talk about that, but first, the bass test. Okay, so how is it going to sound like? Is it going to be good? We're about to find that out for ourselves. I'm so glad that we can experience this speaker together. Okay, so this is what you're getting in the box. Literature, speaker, and a very long power cord with a non-detachable power plug. Uses a micro USB pin, so well, let's go ahead and set this up. Okay, let's plug.
Welcome to Google Home. To get started, download the Google Home app on a phone or tablet.
Okay, so I've set up the speaker using the Google Home app. Then I tried to play some music using my free Spotify account. Didn't work because apparently you need a Spotify premium account to play music on a third-party device. So I've paired the speaker to my phone using Bluetooth so that we can have some freedom with what we can play on the speaker. This is at I think 70% volume. %30 volume, okay? So the speaker has touch controls. You touch this part here to increase the volume. It gets pretty loud, eh? Okay, let's do 80%. It's pretty clear, it sounds quite airy. Okay, so the first thing I noticed about the sound is that it sounds pretty clear and airy. Okay, that I said. But in terms of bass performance, yes, it does deliver a little bit of that thump, but it doesn't like go all the way. I wouldn't expect it to go all the way to the lower bass registers anyway, because this is a very small speaker after all. But it's managed to avoid sounding really flat. So I gotta hand it to the audio engineers at Google for managing this in such a small speaker. And the other thing is that this has pretty okay track separation. It doesn't sound very clean, as in the tracks are not cleanly separated from each other like with much larger speakers, but it does sound clean enough for my enjoyment. Yeah. So you can hear the thump. But it doesn't like extend all the way to the lower bass registers. So it's just very surface level bass that you can get with this. Okay, let's continue. For a small speaker like that, it's not bad. Okay, at 80% volume, it's not distorting heavily, okay, as far as I can tell. So this is, I would say, pretty good performance for a speaker of this size. I'm not kidding. Okay, let's try something. Let's play at 80% volume and then we'll extend the volume up to 100%. Okay, then we'll see if the speaker heavily distorts. 100% volume. Yeah, I can definitely hear it. You can definitely hear the speakers struggle at 100%. It's like, what used to be pretty okay track separation and clean sound just devolved into this mess. Okay, so it's not very pleasant to listen to at 100% volume. Already it's pretty loud at 80%. Yeah, it sounds a lot better at 80%. Sounds a lot better at 80% volume. Of course, if you think 80% is not loud enough for you, you can maybe pump the volume up to like 90%, but try to avoid playing at 100% because it doesn't sound good. Okay, let's try at 90%. Yeah, 90% is still okay. Yeah, 90% is still okay. How does it perform for videos though? Let's try some videos, shall we? Alright guys, I'm gonna play one of my own videos because I don't want to get any copyright strikes, okay? So, let's see how it performs when watching videos with vocals, okay? Compared with the Audio Technicas, but how do they compare in terms of noise cancelling? This I would like to find out. So, there's only one way we can do this. Let's go outside, let's give it a try. Let's go. Okay guys, I'm outside right now. There are a few roads nearby with cars passing by and stuff. And there are a few kids nearby as well playing soccer. So I guess this is a great place to try out the noise cancelling of. Yeah, so it sounds very good. Vocals sound loud and clear, and you get pretty good lip syncing too. Maybe just a little bit of a lag because obviously this phone doesn't support aptX, nor does the Google Home Mini, but even without aptX, it didn't have a huge impact on my video watching experience. So yes, this is pretty decent for music and for videos considering that it only costs like 49 bucks. That is of course if you're not a bass head. If you're a bass head, I will not recommend this as your main music or entertainment speaker because you'll probably be wanting something with a bass radiator or a woofer. But if you're looking for something that you can quickly pair to, and you can play your music or whatever, and it will sound clearer and louder than your phone, the Google Home Mini is a great choice. After all, it's like what, 49 bucks. Now, is it a great idea to buy this speaker, the Google Home Mini, in the year 2019? Of course, I'm talking to those of you who don't already have a Google Assistant speaker. Now, we all know that the Home Mini is not a new product, okay? This product was released in 2017, but since then, there has been a few important developments that made Google Assistant the most important voice assistant in the year 2019. The most recent development was during CES when brands like Samsung and LG, the major home electronics brands, they all announced that they will be bringing Google Assistant into their latest range of smart appliances like smart TVs. Yes, of course, they are not the first. Sony had already been integrating Google Assistant to their smart TVs since I believe it was last year. But you have major audio brands as well jumping on board, brands like Sonos, Klipsch, and I suspect that there will be even more brands adopting GA in their latest products in the coming year. So this is why I feel you should buy the Home Mini in the year 2019. If you don't already have a GA ecosystem at home, this is a great way to introduce yourself, to ease into the Google Assistant platform because it's only 49 bucks. So it's very cheap, probably the cheapest Google Assistant speaker you will ever find on the market. Of course, this is also a great way to introduce yourself to voice control speakers because of the insanely low price point. And it's really small too, so you could literally put it anywhere as long as there's a power socket nearby. And if you already have a range of Google Assistant compatible devices like smart TVs, smart lights like the Nanoleaf light panel, link is in the description if you want to take a look at it, and maybe even smart speakers, you could use this as the main control unit rather than using your phone all the time, because you may not have your phone with you all the time, but this is always listening. So you could say, hey Google, turn off studio lights.
Sure, turning off the studio lights.
Hey Google, turn on studio lights.
Sure, turning the studio lights on.
Simple. And I don't even have my phone with me. So it's a great way to control all your Google Assistant compatible devices. So why not? It's just 49 bucks anyway. But I'm interested to know what you think. Google Home Mini, yay or nay? And if nay, why nay? Tell me in the comment section below, tell me what you think. Okay, so I think I should end this video right here. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please punch that like button with a vengeance and share this video with your friends. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and remember to ring the bell to join my notification squad, because I upload videos every single week and this is the only way you'll get notified. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. My name is Aaron and I'll see you again in the next one. Facepalm out.